Hi everyone, it's Michelle from Considering Grace. I am so sorry it has been so long. I've said that so many times, haven't I? But it has been a really long time since I have done a video for you guys. And I just wanted to share with you this new Bible that I got for Christmas. It's the Interleaved Bible, and it has got one blank page in between every page of the scripture. So, for those of you who do not want to write or paint on the scripture itself, this Bible is perfect for that. Plus, you get a full page to write on or paint on. And the thickness is pretty good on the pages as well. From what I can tell, it is a lot thicker than my previous journaling Bible. So, I'm pretty happy with that. Now I'm just taking some good old washi tape to make my first circle, just to kind of start myself off. The rest of it I'm doing freehand. And what I am making first of all is a wreath, a Christmas wreath. And as you can see there, I'm just totally winging it. So I'm erasing quite a bit. And I don't want this to be like a perfect, not that it's ever perfect, but I don't want it to be, perfect circles. And especially right now, I'm drawing the circle for the crown of thorns. And I definitely don't want that circle to be perfect. I want it to be kind of warped and imperfect. So that's what I'm drawing right now. Have to turn the Bible because I'm left-handed. So and now I'm just adding some leaves onto the wreath. I can't think of the name of the leaves that I'm drawing. Is it ivy? I can't remember. Anyway, it's a Christmas leaf. I'm sure you'll recognize it as soon as you see. I'm just going to be drawing that around the wreath. Looks like a lightning bolt right now, but you'll see as I draw some more. And I'm doing them in different directions, not the same position for each one, so that it makes the wreath look a little bit fuller. For some reason, it was really super hard for my hand to make that shape. It just didn't want to happen, so it was really hard for me to draw those leaves on there. But as you can see, I managed. And I wanted to not put a bow on this wreath because I want your attention to be drawn to the crown of thorns. So I didn't want to put a big fancy red bow on the wreath and have your attention be drawn too much to the wreath. So that's the reason why I didn't do a bow. But I thought I could do a few ornaments on the wreath. And I don't think that draws your attention too much in the end. You'll have to let me know what you think. As I was doing the Crown of Thorns, I was listening to a song by Nicole Nordeman called Why, and that brought many tears to my eyes as I was drawing that Crown of Thorns. So I'm using some watercolor pencils. These ones are by Prima, and the set is called Scenic Route, and they're very muted colors, which are really nice. And then I am also using my favorite Inktense pencils. These ones are like watercolor pencils in the way they are applied. However, the color on the inside of the pencil is made from ink. So the color is a lot bolder and more vibrant. And you can blend colors differently than you can with watercolor pencils. Once the ink is dried, that color is permanently on the paper. So even if you add water or another color, it would just add on top. It doesn't blend it again, if that makes sense. So I'm using both sets, because I want to use as many shades of green as I can find. I think in the end I used about 5 shades of green. And I just wanted that again to make the wreath look fuller. So as you can see, I'm just coloring in different parts of the wreath with each color. So I'm just about to add some water, with a really, really fine tip brush. And I'm being very careful because I'm not sure how much water to use here. And I'm just going to take a peek behind the page to see if it's going through. And it is not going through. So I'm pretty happy. So as I said, the pages in this particular Bible are a lot thicker than your typical Bible page, which is really almost like a tissue paper. Maybe not quite a tissue paper, but you know what I mean. And I'm just making sure that I color the same leaves, the same colors, so that I can have the fullness show up there in the wreath. And now I'm just coloring in the ornaments, and I'm leaving just a little teeny spot of white just for the reflection of light. They kind of look like berries, except I suppose they'd be really big berries for that size of leaf. So anyway, you can imagine them to be whatever you want. So let's see. Just coloring in those ornaments. As you can see, the colors are so vibrant using those Inktense pencils. So some of the leaves you can see are a bit more faint, and those are the ones that I used the watercolor pencils from Prima. But just like those ornaments, those are the Inktense pencils. So the color is just so bold. I love it. And as you can see, I've now written on the page that the wreath on the top is the season, and the crown of thorns on the bottom, it says the reason. I got this idea off Facebook. Somebody posted this similar picture at Christmas time, and it really spoke to me, and I wanted to put it in my Bible. It was an actual photograph of a wreath and a crown of thorns. So that's where I got the idea from. And you definitely have to listen to that song by Nicole Nordeman. The words in it are just, amazing. And there's a line in there about how the crown must be hurting him somehow, even though he's not showing it. And that just brought tears to my eyes. So I'm just trying to go over the fine lines of the crown of thorns. I used 2 colors for the crown of thorns. One is like an olive green. It's like a browny olive green. And then the other color is called bark, and it's a very, very dark, dark brown. I also shaded like a golden color for the background, and I didn't want to film that because that took a long time. So I didn't film that for you. And now I just decided, I actually asked my husband what he thought, whether I should add some drops of blood on the crown of thorns. And we both thought that it would bring more balance to the picture because there's red on the top in the wreath. And so I wanted to add some drops of blood on the bottom. Again, just to draw your attention down too. So that's what I'm doing there. And I'm just going to add some water to the Inktense pencil. And then next I'm going to start adding some water to the golden color on the page in the background. And this is where I added a bit too much water and it did warp the page a bit. Fortunately for me, it does not bother me to have the page wrinkly or warped. I personally like it. I like the sound of it actually when it's had water on it. So it doesn't bother me. I know it bothers some people. What you'll see me do in a little while here is once I've added all of the water to the page, I do tug a little bit at the page to pull it out a little bit and see if that can prevent some of the wrinkling. So my suggestion would be maybe to use a little bit less water than I did, maybe a smaller brush. I used quite a big brush, and as you can see, I dragged a little bit of color off of the wreath and the crown of thorns. And I think now going back with a smaller brush, I was able to, I'm still using the big brush there. In a second, I'm using a smaller brush and I'm able to go into the smaller places to blend a little bit easier, more easily without dragging some green or brown into the golden color. So there's the little brush. And here's the final shots. I used a black pen, I believe it was a Sharpie pen, to write the words in the end. And if you have any questions at all, please let me know. And I would love to hear from you. And we'll talk to you soon. God bless.